moving forward with the same thing. Now, today's concept, firstly, we have to do something called as the user creation. What is the concept we have to do right now? It is going to be user creation. Is the user creation going to be same previously in the EC and right now in the GRC system? So previously, what is the transaction code we have used?
SU01 to create user.
SU01 to create a user ID. Now, if I try to create a same user, same thing for a GRC consultant. So what are we going to do right now is creating a user ID. So we are going to create user ID for GRC consultant. So we have to log in right now and perform our activities, day-to-day activities we need to perform. So in order to do this one, I required a GRC user ID. So what we should be performing? So logging in the system. Once you log in the system, go into SU01 and create a new user ID. So whatever this new option, technical user, you are able to see here, it is nowhere related to GRC. It is somewhat related to HANA database. As you are using right now S4 HANA system, this technical user is a option available for the HANA database users, nowhere related to GRC. For the due to GRC, this option is not added here. So as a part of HANA database administration, you will come across what exactly is this concept in future. Now, let me go and create a GRC user ID. So GRC01. GRC01. So this is a new user ID I am creating here. As usual, what are the mandatory fields while creating a user ID? That does not change. Last name and the password. So what are the mandatory fields to create a user ID? It's the last name and the password you required. So providing the same information, nothing new. Last name I am giving as admin, and password I give here something like welcome. So initial password I am giving here, and going for profiles to provide full access. So what we need to provide? We need to provide full access for the user. So that's what I am doing here. Going for profiles, SAP underscore all, SAP underscore new. Full authorization I am providing. So the password, there are some more parameters. It's okay. A generated password is created here in this way. So copying the password and save the details. Now I will log in this with this user ID. So regular basis, how you log in? You are just logging here. So where we have created in client number 200, which won't work in client number 100. So GRC01 and password. So I will reset my own password. So I am setting my own password here in this way. So am I going to get access to the GRC system? Yes, I am getting. As I provided full access, without any doubt, you will be getting the access here. But now the concept here is, what are the two transaction codes you are using for our implementation? One is SPRO to perform your settings. One is NWBC to perform your execution implementation part. So when I go for SPRO, is this T code implemented? Are we getting our GRC folder as we defined yesterday? Means the answer is absolutely yes, we are getting them. And in the same way, can we go for NWBC? The answer is absolutely yes, we can go for NWBC. So give your user ID, whatever is your user ID, you can simply provide here in this way. So am I getting to NWBC NetWeaver Business Client? So how does the NWBC launch it? It is launched through your browser. So but what is happening here? Is the view same yesterday and today? Or they different? Are we having the same view as yesterday, or it is different from yesterday? The NWBC, it
It's
is
different.
looking, it is totally different here. Why? What happening here? As we provided SAP underscore all, the system is going to show you the entire menu. So what exactly the NWBC shows you is, it is nothing new for you. It is the same concept as, so right. So it is going to be the same concept as, so it is going to be the same concept as your menu. So whatever the menu axis you are having, the same menu axis once again it is repeated here. So what is happening here? The same thing is once again repeated here in the NWBC. So for randomly, I will pick some folder called logistics. Here I have material management or GRC, internal trade, in this way. So this is the folders I have. The same thing, side by side comparison. So where I am going here, logistics. Inside the logistic, what is the folder name? GRC. Inside the GRC, what is the folder name? We are going for interstat. In the interstat you have the same menu here. So the things are going to be same here, but practically speaking, whatever the GRC access control navigation you are having, it will be very very difficult if you are giving the full access. So for any SAP user ID, you can provide full access. A GRC consultant can 100% have full access, but the NWBC selection criteria will become more complex here. So what is happening here? Your NWBC is going to become more complex here. So whatever the GRC access control options you are having, so you are going to face lot of difficulty in order to identify the things which you require. So what all the things you require, it you will be facing very much difficulty to identify the thing you require. So to overcome this issue, what SAP has done here is, you can add something called as the access control rules. So what you are going to do, for the same user, you are going to provide something called as the access control rules. So what is the keyword to pull the access control rules? So previously, to pull the BC sets related to access control, what is the keyword we have used? You need to remember those things, very important one. Star, GRAC star. So previously, to pull the BC sets, we have used this keyword. Now even for the role point of view also, you are going to use the same thing here in this way. Okay, even for the roles also, you will be using the same thing here in this way. So what you need to perform here is star GRAC star and browse the data. Selecting all the browse all the roles you are having. You are having 33 GRC access control roles in this way. So as per today's session, I am going to provide full access. Who I required? I required a GRC consultant with full access. So what I am doing, I am simply going for select all option in this way. Now this user is having access to access control roles. So the logic here is, any changes you are doing in the GUI, they will be automatically updated in NWBC also in this way. Now you have provided this user certain access control roles. In later session, we will be doing later for the function creation, what are the roles required for a risk, what is the roles required, we will look into that concept later. As of now, a user ID with full access, the moment you provide full access here, it will be automatically updating the NWBC. Just click on refresh. That's it. Your view is going to be totally customized based on the roles you are having. So what is this one? This is totally based on the roles which you are having access in this way. Based on the roles you provided, your NWBC is updated in this way. So this is the most common doubt asked by the students. So tomorrow when you are going for the implementation part, so you are asking like your NWBC is different, my NWBC is different. What is the reason between two different views? Nothing difference here. The user ID which you are utilizing is lacking of something called as the access control roles. So you should be providing something called as your access control roles in this way. So that's the whole concept of the NWBC you are going to have here. It is going to use something called as the GUI for HTML in this way. Okay, it is going to use something called as GUI for HTML in this way. So right, so that's the whole concept you have here. So any questions? No, right. So no questions you are having, I will be moving forward right now. So I will be moving forward right now. So what I will be doing right now here is, so go back and user ID is fine. You can do here in this way. See, now what we are going to do. So just let me get a confirmation. Are we done with all these concepts which I want to discuss? Just let me know. If anything not completed, just let me know. So like we have done activation of application. We have done activation of PC sets. In GRC folder, we have gone through with the, so we have gone with something called as activation of application, and even the automatic workflows also we have seen what are the settings you have. And shared master data reporting, we have nothing to do at this point of time. In the common component settings, we have done the RFC related thing, create RFC, maintain connector, maintain connection settings. In this way we have done, followed by the access control. We have one seen overview of these things one by one, not overview, I guess we have done the settings of all these concepts in this way. So this is what the implementation we have done previously. Now moving forward, so if at all you want to do the implementation, so right, if at all you want to do the implementation, what is the sequence you are going to have? The sequence you are going to have here is the, so firstly, it's the ARA implementation. So whatever the implementation you want to do, it may be ARA, BRM, EAM, ARM. For every concept, there will be someone called as a owner concept. So I am going to consider them as a access control owner. Access control owner you are going to owners you are going to have here in this way. These owners are responsible for reviewing the details and having an approvals and rejection concept. If any approvals or rejections are required, then mandatorily the owner should be giving the approval. For example, for our ARA concept, whatever the ARA implementation we do here, we are having someone called as a risk owner. We are going to have someone called as a function owner. We are going to have someone called as a mitigation owner. in this way. Mitigation ID owners you are going to have here in this way for our ARA implementation. When you go for BRM implementation, you are going to have something called as a role owner. For EAM concept, emergency access management, you are going to have someone called as a firefighter owner, and followed by for your ARM implementation, you are going to have someone called as a access owner. So based on your concept you are going to implement, you require each owner for some particular purpose in this way. Step by step we will be seeing what is the purpose, how to implement them, all the concept we will be seeing. So as we are entering into the ARA concept, the first thing I would like to discuss right now is the risk owner. So who is called as a risk owner? Risk owner is the person who gives the approvals for your risk ID. So, what is the responsibility of a risk owner? He is going to give approvals for your risk ID. So, whatever the risk IDs you are creating, whatever the risk IDs you are updating, whatever the risk violations you are performing, everything will be reviewed or controlled by someone called as a risk owner. Risk owner is going to review the information and give the approvals in this way. That's the responsibility of a risk owner in this way. Now let us move forward to this concept, and we are going to start with the ARA implementation. For your ARA implementation, already we have undergone with the future features of ARA. What is the ARA implementation? We have to prepare a centralized chart to maintain all our risky actions, permissions, and S4Ds. What is this centralized chart? It is nothing but your risk ID. Sorry, it is your rule set in this way. Followed by using the rule set, you can perform risk analysis, you can identify the risky T codes, and you can remove the risky T codes in this way. Followed by you generate the risk related reports in this way. That's the whole logic you are having. So by the time we are discussing this topic, many people having these questions like how is the risk ID created, what are the function IDs, how we define them as a risky transaction codes. That's the concept which we are going right now. That is the requirement gathering to prepare a rule set. So what we are going to do? Requirement gathering to prepare rule set. So to prepare a rule set, how the requirement gathering should be done, we will be discussing right now. So note a point that in your project, by defaultly SAP provides you something called as a rule set. So what happens here? SAP by defaultly is going to provide you a rule set here. So now we are discussing about something called as a customized rule set. Okay, we are going to prepare a rule set from the scratch. So SAP defaultly provides you a rule set that is called as a global rule set, which we will be looking into the default rule set or the global rule set in the later session. In today's session we will be discussing about how to create a customized rule set from the scratch, everything. So you have no clue about what is you don't have any rule set till this point of time. Now from the very much basic onwards, step number 1 or day number 1, you are going to prepare your rule set. So this requirement gathering goes on in this way. The first thing that goes here is the first thing that goes here is going to be the business processes. So what is the first information you need to gather in your project is the business process. So what is meant by business process? Yesterday we have discussed. So what is the meaning of business process? Yes, no one to
Different
remember.
modules.
Different modules, exactly. So total how many SAP modules you are having? Each module is called as a business process in this way. For example, in my project, ABAP module, basis module, security module, okay, and we are having something like a HR module, SD module, sales and distribution. We are having module in this way, FICO in this way. So the first thing that you need to collect here is total number of business processes you are having in your project. Generally, where you can get this information, total number of business processes you are having in your project. Where can you get this information? Generally, you can get through your management or your team lead, or you can ask your project manager. Generally speaking, your project manager will have all the details about total number of business processes you are having. They will have the things here in this way. Followed by next thing you are going to collect here is going to be total number of sub business process here. What is the next thing you are going to discuss here? Sub business process here. So what is meant by sub business process? This term also yesterday I have explained. Business process and sub business process. What is the meaning of sub business process? Nothing but you are going to divide each business process into small parts. First, suppose yesterday we have taken example as the security team, like user maintenance team, role maintenance team, audit maintenance team in this way. So into how many parts a business process can be divided based on their responsibility, it is called as a sub business process in this way. And note a point that you should be note a point that you should be carefully listening this concept. Why? Because tomorrow your rule set implementation will totally depend on this concept only. Okay, right then. So see here. So I cannot fill all the cells in this way. For each business process, only one sub business process only I am taking as example. But practically speaking, you can have as many as sub business process you have. You don't have any restriction here. So you don't have any restriction here. You can have as many sub business processes you required in your project. Okay, so only for security example purpose I have taken three. For remaining other modules, only for ABAP coding sub business, basis client maintenance, HR, I will be taking something like employee ID maintenance, sales data, material, finance team, general ledger posting, controlling team, something like internal audit, something I have taken here in this way. So in this way, some examples I have taken here. Again, who is going to provide this information? It will be provided by the each module people. So if you have engaged the process of creation of a customized rule set, you should be informing your project manager. The project manager is going to arrange a meeting on your agenda. So what is your agenda right now? To collect the total number of sub business processes. So based on your requirement, all the module people will provide you the information. So generally a team meeting will be arranged for you. So you should be explaining them what is your requirement and what is the information you require. So that they will be responding and giving you all the information you require.